You're making a movie about you with
Who would I want to be?
Catherine the Great just started tweeting from the dead.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like, I didn't act like that. I mean, I actually look nothing like Catherine the Great. If you look up, like, her, like, what she really looked like, it's like, no.
is there an authorized X account for Catherine the Great?
Yeah, we're
And-
making one now.
And if so, who runs that?
Yeah.
You tramped all the way from Minnesota. Why is that?
I wanted to catch a spark.
I really appreciated your approach to Joan Baez, and I'm curious, you said you got to speak to her. How did she influence your portrayal?
Well, I mean, in every way she influenced it. She's someone who's just been very honest in her memoirs and documentaries. She doesn't really hide a lot about herself. And so I felt very lucky, you know, before ever getting to speak with her, I felt like I was gifted a lot of information about her and a lot of honesty, you know, even qualities about herself that she may not be particularly proud of. So, you know, we actually had started filming when I decided to reach out. I was having dreams about her, and I felt like just the very Joan thing to do would be to reach out, and Ed Norton had been talking with her too, and so I sort of felt like a little bit more comfortable to say hey. And yeah, I mean, she in a lot of ways just sort of solidified that I did have an understanding of her based on her memoirs. She said to me that she was hoping I would reach out, which I felt very validating to me.
I'm very curious for you what it's like to find the energy of a character who is very different from, especially I would say your early career, when I'm thinking like Primal Fear and American History X.
It's not easier to play someone who's nicer. Pete Seeger was very strong. He had strong opinions and strong convictions, but he had this amazing capacity to express them in a way that was, he was deeply committed to resolving conflict between people. I mean, he really was. So, you know, it's challenging. I think people had such reverence for him. I came to think of him almost like a Jesuit, like someone who's not about money, not about fame, who really is living in service. He viewed music as his mechanism for service, and people who are that good, who set a standard for other people, that's a specific gear to find that kind of gravitas. But I loved him. I mean, I loved being in his frequency. It was uplifting, you know.
Knowing that Dylan was involved in shaping the screenplay, how did that impact your performance?
I feel like it gave me more confidence with the material in a sense. Not that there was a stamp of approval per se, because Dylan's such an elusive and mysterious figure that one can only know how far a sense of approval would have been. But it did feel like I knew Jim's conversations with him were sincere. I knew things that were added or taken out of the script based on Bob's instincts. So, you know, it definitely felt more authorized in a sense.
Elle, I was curious because obviously your character is based on Suze Rotolo, but Bob Dylan actually asked not to use her name in the script, so it changed to Sylvie. I'm curious how that may have impacted your view on the character.
I don't know. I mean, I've never met Bob Dylan either. I think there was like an added, like maybe a subconscious weight to that, just that kind of solidified what I had been told before, which was that relationship was very special to him. And, you know, Suze has since passed, and she never wanted to be a public figure. She was a very private person. I mean, she did write a memoir, but I thought there was something really lovely, actually, that he wanted to keep her sacred. Yeah, and then also just we're doing our own versions of these characters, and I thought it was a beautiful thing. But there is a little bit, like, gosh, if he ever sees the film, you would hope that we captured the essence of that relationship, you know? Because it obviously, she's the one person who knew him before, you know, he became who he was. They were young and in love, and he was just a boy from Minnesota, you know, really, and that's what she loved him for.